back, welcome back. Shout out to the Wolves. Salute to my ninjas. I guess as you can tell by the title, become your own hero or something, whatever. I figure out what to try to grab people's attention. Today I want to talk about how I realized something because someone else said it. How I realized I've been searching for myself the whole time. I thought I was supposed to find other people, and I did. I found a couple of you. We just wasn't supposed to be forever, you know? Everything has its season. Some people are there forever, and some people are there so you can pass on your knowledge and your energy, you know? So they could be the one. A lot of people get their chance to be the one. For me, I remember growing up as a kid being afraid, you know? A lot of other people, I noticed, either you're dumb, and it's not that you're not afraid, you're just too stupid to be afraid. Or you're just brave, you have that bravery. It's just in you. Some of us have it because we watch others be brave. Some of us have it because we're bigger than others, so you don't have to really, you know, you understand that I don't need to be brave. I'm gonna scare the shit out of these niggas. Alright? But for me, it wasn't like that. You know? No one ever came to my rescue. In a way. You know, some people always help. But I realized recently I was watching a reading, and she said I had to become the person that I needed when I was younger to protect myself and others. And I said, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Because I always have this holding on to what I was and not realizing who I became through the fight of it all. You know? It's kind of weird to explain. I guess because I grew up in a certain way or watched certain things, you know? I always talk about how I watched a lot of heroes, cartoons, and Rocky, and you know, the 80s was, in the 90s, a lot of stuff was, it was cool to be a hero. Rocky was a fucking old guy, a has-been boxer that said, all I need is one shot, you know? And they put him in there with the fucking world champion. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Everybody counted on him to lose. And he put on such a fucking performance and lost that they said, wait up, this guy's supposed to be a fucking bum. How did you last that long? How didn't you get knocked out? You know what? Maybe if we train this guy, get him a little more training, maybe if we make him fight again, maybe he could win, because we seen what he can do. And that's with all his own, you know, natural abilities of what he picked up. All of the hero stories that I grew up on, you know, nobody comes. So you gotta do it. And the whole time you're doing it, you don't even know you're doing it. you know? Because you still got to take losses. Before you're the hero, you're the one that loses over and over, you know? That's why I like the movie Kick-Ass. It's more realistic to what a hero really faces out here. You don't get no superpowers. Well, some of us do. We just don't look at it like that. For example, being able to endure more than others is the greatest power you can have. You know, because you have to take a lot of shit in this world. Shit. Thicker bones. What's going on, man? Simple things like that. That the world teaches us everybody can achieve. But that's a lie. I know because I've been trying to teach people my mental alchemy thing my whole life. Some people get it. But I don't know. That's why I always compare it to the Jedi Force thing. Mental alchemy doesn't care who uses it. You know? If you're a bad person, Force will allow you to use it. But it'll destroy you. It's just a natural order of things because, you know, no one man should have all that power unless you're God, you know? Because you don't know what to do with it. Just remember thinking to myself, just recently, like, bro, you save a lot of people. Maybe not a lot, you know, like an actual superhero. But there's never anywhere you graced. You've never went and moved anywhere and don't have at least 5. You know? And then it's not always from do or die situations. Who knows? Maybe it is, because we never know when the drugs are going to take your ass home. You never know when you're going to get drunk and crash your fucking car. You never know when you're going to try to be tough and that guy's got a knife on him or a gun. And he wants to throw his life away. He's been searching for a fucking reason to go to jail and not have to pay rent or food for a long time. He's been waiting for that. His girlfriend's getting on his nerves. You know? Shit like that. And I realized I'm a fucking superhero. You know? I'm just not super like everybody would think. Ain't no flying. But I do seem to do a lot of things that people consider super. To me, it's just regular. It's thinking. It's the Lord. And such a weird thing to really realize. Like, because when you're trying to help other people, you know, when you really obtain the power of love in helping other people selflessly, see, that's why God takes favor on me. Because I actually help people and not expect anything back. And people always wonder why. Because I wish somebody would do it for me. And since nobody did, I said that person doesn't exist. So you're going to be that person. You know how like people say the Bible's not real? God's not real. Well, alright, it's not real, but it's real now. I made it real. Period. You know how people say the Bible is just allegories. It's not real stories. Well, then that would mean the Bible's a test. And whoever figures it out and takes the fucking test, it's still a test. The Old Testament, not the Old Testament. I think I passed, or at least graduated to go to better courses and see what other levels actually graduate. Because nobody graduates till you're dead. At least in the overall scheme of things. But I've graduated more than once already. I remember when I was stuck on the very, very, very bottom of this, going house to house, having to always put my hand out, always having to work for what I got, watching other people that just clearly don't deserve help, because they're not going to do nothing with it. They're not going to do anything with it. And then you're going to ask for help again and again and again and again and again. Because you just want to learn how to do it yourself. Or ask the people, can you teach me how to do it so I don't have to keep begging you? Remember I told my fucking first actual pupil that actually listened, did the training? Remember when I told him that? It was like, yo, bro, you always owe people money because you don't save your money. You don't save your money because you don't care about yourself. You care about getting high. You care about drinking. You care about eating. You care about all these other things except paying your bills on time so you can feel good about yourself. Because you don't see the value in it. You see the value in getting high, how that makes you feel about yourself. But every time you gotta ask for money, every time you gotta go to your brother, you got that look in your eyes, like, I'm a little ass nigga, and without them, I'm not a real ass man. And niggas like me will show you, from example, what it's like to really not have help, and no fucking, I'm like, if I had your will with no help, I'd be dead. Because nobody's coming. Not for a long time. I remember being afraid of so many different things. I remember I used to be such a house person, a neighborhood person. I remember when I was a young kid, teenager, I literally said to myself, I'll probably never move from here. I love it here. And the world's scary. You know what I mean? I was looking around and seeing things at a young age. And I was like, the me now looks back at the old me and was like, wow. You were afraid to do these things. You were afraid to move away, especially alone, knowing the betrayers are going to betray, and still pushing through. Now I'm not really too much afraid of going anywhere. I'll go anywhere, but I always bunker down, like the Viking, should I say, burn the boat, Then the shenanigans start. Then I see people in trouble. And I always seem to step up. It's not even that cute, tough, holy. It's just a reaction. Same reaction people get when they don't help. You feel it, and you just choose not to do nothing. Choose not to say nothing. Because you forget about yourself. You forget about the younger you. How you needed someone to step up. Nobody would. And you wish and prayed somebody would step up. I'm glad I did. Every time I save someone else, it saves me. Every time I save me, I save someone else. Unfortunately, other people gotta go down. Because they're too hard-headed. Anyway. When the people you want to be there don't exist or refuse to come outside, then you gotta be that person. You already know what you want them to do. You know what they want. You know what they want. You know what they are. So then you know how to become it. Because you know what you know what they want. You know what you want them to do. You know, be there in the way you know. They know what it was there for you. And you'll always know when it's your time to be the hero. Because you can. It'll never cost you too much. You know? Shouldn't. But if you want to be super, it might cost you a lot. I say that to say this. Things are changing. More will come. So, I suggest you petty criminals and fake supervillains, get ready. You're doing too much. You see me? I'm the ones. Not ones. They're here to go through the hard work, you know? Show how crazy you really can get. So the others will just finish you faster. You know? So, all love and all praise to our Father, the Most High, greatest superhero of all time.